Everybody, I'm back here with Brooke today.
Hello.
And welcome back to Things in My Head podcast. We are doing a really fun episode. So it's me and Brooke. We were trying to think of what we haven't done, and an episode between us is kind of what came to mind. So we're going to be talking all about working together. Lots of things have changed, and obviously we've known each other for a really long time, but I feel like I've really gotten to know you this past year. So we're going to be talking all about that. But if you don't follow us, it's Things in My Head on Instagram, where we always post our new episode drops. Of course, it's Things in My Head here on YouTube and on Spotify as well. And then Things in My Head podcast at gmail.com is how you can email us if you have any suggestions, funny stories, or just have some feedback for us. We're always looking back for new feedback, so that way we can improve this.
And new topics.
Yeah, and new topics. So definitely, if you have any feedback, go ahead and do that. If you don't know, we also work at Brooke's Boutique, which is named after Brooke.
The namesake.
So we have been working there forever, I feel like. So if you don't follow us there, that is Brooke's Boutique Pearland on Facebook. We do 4 lives a day and are super active. We also have an Instagram, Love Brooke's Boutique. That is our Instagram. Go follow us over there.
And we have Sweet and Petite Duo, where me and my mom Cecile post Brooke's Boutique behind the scenes and a lot of our real estate content.
Awesome. And then, of course, we have Reynolds Property Group. That is you guys' real estate. So you guys are a real estate team. Yes. So if you guys have any real estate needs, go ahead. You can ask us here at the boutique, or, of course, message them at Sweet
Boutique.
Drop a
comment on this video.
Yeah. They're always looking for, new people to help.
Yes.
So that is kind of all of our intro for that. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. Sorry, I haven't been on camera for a podcast in a minute.
I haven't done a podcast since last season, so I'm just like, I'm nervous.
Yeah, I think I'm a little nervous too, because I have not thought about doing this in a while. But our episode, or what we wanted to really talk about, is the chaos that is behind the scenes
of Brooke's Boutique.
Yeah, so it can be pretty chaotic in the place that we work. So we work at a resale shop selling high-end luxury goods, and we do a little bit of clothes and all kinds of other things. But you guys also have started a real estate business. So we're trying to make sure that both businesses have equal amount of attention so both can thrive. And so we're balancing, because you guys work at the boutique and then you guys also work for that other business. So balancing of both of those things. I just kind of wanted to ask you, how has the first year of real estate, how do you feel like it's been?
The first real estate, we were very blessed for the business that we received and the people that wanted us to help them and serve them. So we are very thankful and blessed for those opportunities. But I would say it was not what I expected at all. Whenever I got my license, I expected my phone to be ringing off the hook, people consistently asking me to help them. I knew that I was going to help a lot of my younger friends who are freshmen and sophomores in college, and I was expecting to help you ladies at the boutique. And I'm very thankful that we've had 2 customers from the boutique who has asked me and mom to help them with their real estate needs, and we are taking care of them and have taken care of them. So we're very thankful for that. But I've also just expected my phone to be like ringing off the hook once I got my license. Everyone was going to know I was an agent once I just posted on my Instagram story. But no, that is definitely not the case. The tasks are easy, but they're not, well, the tasks are simple, but they're not easy, if that makes sense. So I would say my first year in real estate, what I struggled with was having things consistently in my pipeline and having the work consistently, and how to build client relationships and how to grow my sphere of influence, how to keep my connections growing is what I struggled with. And because I was just lazy my first year of real estate, because I was expecting everything to come to me. And so that's what I struggled with. Going into my second year of real estate, I have really pushed myself to reach out, and I am definitely not a type of person to do cold calls, or I'm not the type of person to go door knocking to every house and things like that. Even now I still get nervous, like whenever our customers checking out the boutique to plug my real estate business, because it is just nervous. So sometimes I do feel like a secret real estate agent. But I would say my first year of real estate was hard, but moving it forward, I'm having a lot more progression because I'm putting in the work to get the effort.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think that I've definitely seen you kind of like get outside of your bubble. Like, I definitely see you like trying to engage with like the boutique people that are coming in and also trying to help with the real estate, and balancing both has been kind of interesting because sometimes, you know, real estate, I guess, you know, it happens. It's not like a set time frame. It's not like you clock in from like 3 o'clock to like 5 o'clock. That's when I'm going to do my real estate. It's more like when the customer comes or the person that needs help, you have to be like ready and be able to drop what you're doing in order to help them right away, because that housing market, you know, you don't want to lose a house or, you know, all these things take time to get processed, so it has to be kind of immediate,
especially because everybody knows a realtor.
Yeah.
It just depends if you will be their realtor.
Yeah. And what I guess, you know, what you would want in your realtor is obviously that their main focus is for you to get, you know, your home, but you know, to sustain yourself, you have to have like a second income.
Yes.
So it's kind of hard to like, I would probably see that being really difficult. So I always try and make sure like when you're doing it that I give you like space to be able to like get what needs to get done. So that way you guys can keep growing and getting, you know, if one person gets help, they might tell their friend.
Yes.
And then that's how you'll get somebody else. And then maybe, you know, it all kind of cross-pollinates because those people might also want to sell with us as well. So it kind of works together in that way. And we've definitely tried to put it more like in the story, like signage and things like that. The home buyer sellers seminars.
We've definitely blended the two businesses.
Yeah.
Even just these past like 3 months, we have blended them more than we have throughout my whole time of being an agent so far.
Do you feel like, so another big like kind of change was Lauren did leave, and she was like a key heart member of our team at Brooks Boutique. And with her leaving, you've kind of had to step up into kind of more of a manager position. And so how do you feel? Because you are really young to be in a position like that. And I remember I was also pretty young when I stepped into a position, not like as formally as like this, but I do kind of remember that feeling of being kind of stressed and thinking, I'm not equipped for this. I'll never forget this, but we had a what is that called? We had new clothes that we were selling at the boutique at one point because we were trying to see like what we could do.
That. When we wouldn't do consignment, it was actual new clothes.
Yeah, so we tried to do like the new and the used kind of like store model. And I just remember I was extremely like, I was your age, and Cecile was like, okay, you have to pick the clothes that's going to sell. And so she gave me a credit card. And like, this is a lot. So when you buy like surplus clothes, you have to calculate how much it's going to cost to sell, because obviously you have to buy it for lower, and then they sell it at a marked up price, which is every boutique does that. That's how they profit from their sales. So that's why like you see Altered State, Francesca is so expensive. It's because it's marked up. So we would have to calculate, but you'd also not want to buy something like you buy a dress and none of it sells. You've lost money on it if you put it on clearance. So I was like very aware of that kind of like dichotomy, and I would be so stressed out at nighttime. I was like, oh my God, if I choose the wrong,
what's gonna sell.
Yeah, I would be like, oh my gosh.
I had no idea that you used to do that.
Yeah, so
that you were the one picking it.
Yeah, I was thrusted upon it because the person who originally started that plan. So Cecile is really fun. She will, if you have a good idea or you will have an idea about how you can grow this business,
she will try to execute
it. She's like, okay, what do you need to execute? And so she gives you an opportunity to do it. So it wasn't my idea. It was the predecessor's idea, somebody who used to work with us, but they like kind of launched it and then they left. And so then that was just me left. So they were like, here's the binder. Here's the binder. Here's the card. You have
get to work.
Yeah,
get this done.
And it was like each week we had to pick new things, and I was putting it on Facebook. So I would pick like 20 things, but I would only order 10, and I would put it on Facebook, and I'd be like, okay, we do pre-order sales, so at least we know some of the things will sell. And like the most voted items were the ones that we chose. But still picking the 20 was like stressful each time. And I just remember I was your age and trying to do all of this and like learning for the first time. Like if you don't know, I went to art school.
I would love that task that you got. I would have done so good with
I
that.
was not a very like and maybe I'm still not, but the designer luxury world was very new to me. I didn't really know much about it. I was excited to learn more about it, but I just didn't know so much about it, and it was just crazy. I just remember I was stressed and I thought, I was like, why is this happening to me? But I just wonder, do you have any moments like that where you're like, oh my gosh, I'm so young, I don't feel like I'm equipped, or you have an imposter syndrome, like I'm not equipped to do this, but you are?
I don't think I've ever felt like that way. I think I would feel that way if I was in you and Soraya's shoes with the manager task that y'all do. I recently just became an admin. I'm not a manager. I'm an employee and an admin. I do a lot of the behind the scenes tasks now at the boutique whenever my sister Lauren left, who was the main manager. And again, once Lauren was the main manager, once she left, Soraya and Jenny became the managers. And so they do all the tasks that she had whenever she left. And so I took on some of the responsibilities that Lauren had. And it is crazy how many tasks that girl actually had for one person. Like now that Jenny and Soraya are doing it and it's already split up, it's still a lot of work. And I'm also taking on those tasks. So props to you, Sissy, because you did great. But I took on some tasks. I took on the email campaign. So every email that you get on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, that is me. And then I do the staff schedule for the girls, which I personally love because I get to pick and choose when I want to work and what works best with me real estate wise. So it was actually a really great time for me to take on that specific role so I can plan out my 2 careers. And what other task have I taken on? I think those are the 2 main ones.
We also you're at the meetings.
Yes,
so you are helping us with decision making.
I'm at the manager meetings. I help with those.
So you're giving us different perspectives sometimes. So that can be kind of, fun.
And now I work 40-hour weeks. So that's also another add-on.
Yeah. So it is a lot of especially if you're like in a small business, there's a lot of work that is done at work, but then there's a lot of stuff that you have to do outside of the job if you want to get all of these things done, especially because
you guys, a lot of at-home work.
Yeah. So when you get home, do you ever have to sit at your computer again and do things?
Definitely. I feel like not as much as you do, but I definitely do.
Do you feel like it's just draining, or do you feel like you're kind of what keeps you motivated to keep striving for those? Because it can be hard.
Yeah, it's a lot of at-home work that could be done, but if there is downtime at the boutique, I really prefer to do my email campaign so I can get the feedback from the girls on what I should put on the emails, on what they think will be best. And I whenever my sister Lauren would do the staff schedule, we wouldn't look at it before, but I try to show it to everybody before I get it for final approval, so everyone's happy. But I don't wait, what was the question?
What keeps you motivated? Because it can be a lot of work outside of work, and it's hard to sit at the computer again and get back to work.
Yeah, what keeps me motivated if I have to do it at home is not wanting to disappoint my teammates.
Oh.
So yeah, that's what keeps me going.
Yeah. I think that's similar for me. I feel guilt or bad if I let the team down because we're all working together to keep this, all working.
And all of our common goal. Yeah. If one person's not pulling their weight, it really hurts the other person not hitting their goal. We all have the same goal, but we all just want it so badly every day. So
we have a really strong work culture. Everybody that works together, we're pretty tight, and I guess we've known each other for years, so that probably contributes to how close we're able to be now. But I think that is a major thing, and it's actually really nice to have a really good tight work culture, because I feel like a lot of friends of mine don't have that. So I appreciate that. Who
is as close to their coworkers as we are at the boutique? We talk to each other about stuff we probably should not be. It is crazy. Every personal detail. Well, probably me more than the other two, but because I'm an open book and I just empty out everything. I probably need to keep personal stuff personal, but I don't know. I just open it all up. These are my girls, and I know that these are for life relationships that I work with. The ladies I work with at the boutique, even the ones that have went separate ways, I've still kept relationships with most of them that I choose to. So
Yeah,
It's
I
been
feel
good.
like that's like a really positive thing about working at the store is just that really good like working environment that feels like okay, I have a room to like kind of spread my wings and like actually like execute these extra ideas. Like this podcast is an extra thing that we do, pop-ups or like
an
extra thing.
But back to the what you were saying about what motivates me is one thing that I actually struggle with is feeling like I don't pull my weight whenever I have to do real estate tasks at the boutique, because it is not a boutique thing, it's a real estate thing. And so when I need to take 30 minutes in the back because I have a phone call or I have a introductory meeting with a new client and I have to take 30 minutes in the back, and usually it's just two, most days it's only two people on the sales floor, and we'll be lucky if mom can come in and do Facebook Live so we can do other things on the store. But if it's just mom doing Facebook Lives and let's say Jenny on the sales floor, and I have to go to the back for 30 minutes, I feel guilty because I feel like I'm hurting my team, not helping them get tasks done to get to our common goal. So that's one thing I struggle with, but it's something that I have to like give myself grace for because I am building a new career as a young adult. So
Yeah, I feel like it's kind of like you can't always be worried about like the very now. Like obviously like right now we have to make X amount of sales or do X amount of things to get where we want to for that day. But the things that we do that are like admin tasks are things that help us in the future, especially because we are transitioning to a new space. So we will be leaving the old retail space.
and I'm so excited.
Yeah, we're going to be going into more of an e-commerce type of space, which I think is actually really, really good, because I was listening to another podcast and they were talking about how retail spaces are very like dead. There's a lot of stores that are closing, like major retailers like JCPenney's. There's a lot of Joann's that are going at it. Forever 21 has
Party City,
gone. So everyone is more accustomed to buying online, and we're switching our model, I think, at the very beginning of that. So I think that's really good, because the very first people to start those kinds of like beginning things, I think, are the ones that have longevity.
Yeah.
So,
and I'm really excited for the boutique, but one thing I'm nervous about is like having just our customers that pass by on the street at that light just want to come in and shop.
Yeah.
So that's one thing like I'm gonna miss whenever we do miss to the office condo. But y'all can still, of course, come in and come in. But I'm just gonna miss like having that corner spot and having like the pass bys.
I think it's going to be really like bittersweet when we leave, because there's so many memories at that store. Oh my gosh. Like the funny moments we've had at that store. Like I can't even
the things we see out the window at that light.
Things we see.
One time we are across from a McDonald's. One time we saw a horse just sitting outside of the McDonald's. Like, this is very Texas. Like,
one time. I mean, the car crashes I've witnessed.
The crashes we have witnessed at that light.
Yeah, we're like right there on the intersection, and we've also even like the crash that like almost went into the store.
Oh, I remember that one.
That was
But it hit the pillar.
Yeah, it hit the pillar. Thank God. It was a new driver
who just decided to drive that one day to test it, and apparently it was right in front of our boutique.
They put it in drive instead of backwards.
Boom.
Yeah, and we all thought like it was so busy in the store. This is back when we worked by ourselves. It was a Sunday. I was working the floor alone, so I was like, it was so busy that I was actually forming a line of people like to check out. I was like, everybody has to form a neat line in order for me. And most of the time people are pretty respectful and chill because they see that it's just one person behind the desk, and they're like, she's really working hard and doing her best. So it was all good vibes. I was like, wow, I'm making a lot of money today. I'm doing so good. And we thought that it was an accident at the light, like, because that happens so often, but it was an accident right at our store, and if that pillar wasn't there, I mean, it's all windows. It would have went into the store.
Yeah, we only have 2 walls of just wall, and the other 2 walls all windows.
Yeah, and then everybody was like, "Oh my gosh, you have to go outside and knock on their window," because they like backed out and then parked on like the other side, but their car was still there, and I was like, I don't know what to do. I don't remember. I was like probably like 24 or something like that. I was like, no, how old was I? I was still working by myself, but.
Yeah, so whenever you say you're working by yourself, it was just strictly you at the store?
Just strictly me at the store.
No one else?
Nobody else.
So what would happen if you like needed to go to the bathroom? Would you just lock up store for a second?
I just go to the bathroom.
Really fast?
And just pray. Nobody's in the store, and just be like, please.
Don't come in.
Sometimes I would walk out of the bathroom, somebody would be in there. I was like, oh, hey. I just walked out. Yeah, it was very different because, and then, I mean, it was... I don't know. I never really had an issue with that kind of stuff. Now that I think about it, most of the time, in Missouri City, it was just not that many people. So I was alone a lot. But I think it was good because we had our regulars. I even like ordered a sandwich from the same place so many times that they knew exactly how my sandwich was. I ordered it wrong one time. They called me and they were like, "You ordered it differently today. Is that true?" And I was like,
Oh.
"Yeah." It was really nice.
That's nice.
I have fond memories of working in Missouri City, and it was kind of sad when we left because of all those memories. And I feel like this is also kind of the same. Like we're gonna leave this space that we've had for so long. Pinky.
Sorry, Pinky. Say hi to the camera. No? Okay. Get off my
She's
chair.
so cute.
Okay.
But yeah, so you've been at the business since it very much started, and you've seen like the furniture sales.
I was 6,
When
7,
it
7
started?
whenever Brooks Boutique started.
Wow. And you have always seen yourself like, you know, you would work there
Yes.
for a couple years.
Yes,
Yeah.
and this has been my only job ever. I have been working there since I was 15, but you know you can't get paid until like you're 16. So mom would pay me like with taking me to like drive-throughs, or she would give me just cash for the hours I worked that day, and I would calculate it myself. I remember one time it was 2 weeks, and on my phone on my notes app I kept how much I was working, and I was like, okay, I get $500, and she was like. Since when? And then she took me to the bank, and then she gave me $500 for this 2 weeks I worked.
Look
But I
at
was
that.
like 15, 14, so you know I couldn't be enrolled yet. But once I got my license when I was 16, I got on the payroll. I've been working officially since I was 16. I'm 20 now, so I've been working there for 4 years, and I don't see myself stopping anytime soon.
Yeah. Do you ever feel like because you started working so early on in life, you kind of like appreciate your money a little bit more? Like you kind of know like spending and different things?
I have definitely been set up financially, and I would have never done this decision on my own. I'm glad it was so forced upon me, but I take 20%. I think it's 20%, or maybe is it 10? 20% of my paychecks go automatically to my savings, and I have been doing that since I was 16 years old. So any money that I have ever made in a paycheck at Brooks Boutique, 20% of it automatically goes to a paycheck, goes to a savings, so I don't even feel it.
Yeah.
So the only money that gets wired into my bank account is the 80% that I have made. So I have never kept 100% of my paycheck. My mom has really set me up financially, and now that I have a lot of money in my savings, I have started doing CDs. I don't think I could ever. Right now, I just don't see myself doing stocks or betting on my money like that right now. So CDs are where my money is at right now.
Safer.
Yes,
Yeah.
safer, making money just sitting there. So that's what's up.
That's actually really good because a lot of people don't ever get any financial literacy from their parents. So it's, you know, really lucky that you have that. I was lucky with my parents as well. They were super strict. They were like, you have to save your money. They were telling me all the different like percentages, how you have to spend on living, how much you should be spending on like food, necessities, all of that. So I think that's like let me become a person that really understands like where my money is going. And also this job I think has really helped me as well because I've negotiated a lot with purses and different things like that. I feel strong to do that in other ways in life.
We heard your car story.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
I feel like the car, or even like I will fight on like any kind of light bill, anything that like gets raised up. Like I ask questions. I'm not afraid of that kind of thing. And I feel like I have roommates, and I've had roommates in the past, but they would be a little bit more afraid to ask for those things. Where I'm like,
or they would just
no.
pay for it, and they would just not think any much of it,
Yeah.
and not try to fight it.
Yeah, so it's worth it to kind of like fight those things. Like you never know. They can only ever say no, and you can always take your business elsewhere is what I always say. Like if you don't want to like accommodate that or like explain it fully, then I don't trust you and I can go somewhere else. And I think that that is what I kind of more so learned at the boutique, a little bit of that confidence, because that was definitely something I was lacking. Cecile will always be like, Jen, you have to talk to the customer by yourself. And Stu would be on the like right behind me. She'd be like, don't forget to say this. Don't forget to say that. And I was like, I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it. But yeah, that's definitely been like working with your mom definitely taught me a lot about that.
Yeah, but we've grown so much as adults.
Yeah, I know. I feel like I met you when you were a child, and I've known you for a really long time.
So you've known me for 13 years now.
But I feel like I've gotten to know you best
Wait, no, not 13.
this last year.
Yes. I would say so.
Yeah.
Because I would only see Jen like after school, like after
Yeah.
I would get out of high school.
And it's not like we like chatted too
Chatted.
much.
We were working.
Yeah, you were like doing your thing, I was doing my thing. But I think because we work together more closely, because you're more in the admin position, we're able to like understand each other's personalities a bit more, and that's kind of different and fun, because you're definitely at a different like you're in a different generation. Like I'm a millennial, you're Gen Z, so it's kind of like interesting to see your way of thinking. And then like our more like, I hate to say old school because I feel like it's not old, but I guess it's like older kind of thinking.
Yeah.
So it's good to be challenged by something that's like younger.
Yeah.
Sometimes like it helps me like, maybe I should think about these things differently. Also, I feel like it keeps me extremely young and in the know, because like I'll know things like about Labubus and stuff like that, and like my friends won't, and I'll be like, see, you guys
Have you
are
told
just
your
not-"
roommates about Libaboo's?
Yeah, I was like, that is a thing. They're obsessed. And they were like, what is that? And I was like, it's this little monster creature. And so I feel like it keeps me also in the know of like what actually
is
fall-
trendy.
Yeah, I feel like that's a good thing about working with somebody that's definitely younger than you,
Yeah.
because I don't feel
What is our age gap?
10 years.
10 years.
I think so. Yeah,
Exactly.
just about 10. Yeah, which is crazy. But yeah, that is, I don't know if you have any questions for me or anything like that. But I think that's kind of a wrap on this episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it. We kind of talked about a lot of different little things, but you know, it was just kind of like behind the madness, the realness of like two different generations working together. So hopefully you guys were able to take something away from it. Again, if you don't follow us at Brooks Boutique, then I highly recommend it. We have our website, brooksboutique.com. We have our Instagram, Love Brooks Boutique. It's Brooks Boutique on Pearland. If you want to watch our live videos, we try and go live 4 times a day. And then, of course, we have Sweet Petite Duo. That's where you can contact them for any real estate. You also get behind the scenes of like Brooks Boutique and just basically the lives that you guys live. So it's a fun, interesting place. If you have any email, if you want to email us at thingsinmyheadpodcast@gmail.com with any questions, feedback, or topics, please do so. We will see you guys on the next episode. Bye.
Bye.